grab some pizza, and then I swing by Staples and I buy this huge plastic bag of those styrofoam packing peanuts. And this soldier's like, what do you need those for, Storm Pop? I'm like, oh, you'll see. Don't worry about it. Hello everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode, live from the Lair. Alrighty, so this is what we got going on here. Just putting this out there that we're going to be starting up some live chats here at Redonkulous. I'm trying to put together a comedy skit or a comedy show for everyone, at least once a month, on top of some other live chats. So I could start, blowing this channel fucking up, because it needs to happen, gentlemen. All right, so where we leave off with, I'm in Southfield, Michigan, at the 414 Civil Affairs Battalion. We just got past the skeleton crew phase, and we're starting the build-up. Now, Lieutenant D, I think he was promoted to captain by then. I'm not sure. He pulled some strings and got me an MOS reclass for Intel Analyst. Now, up until that point, I'd been in 18 Bravo and 11 Bravo, and that's about it. 11 Bravo 4 Victor, Airborne Ranger, so I was venturing out of the combat MOSs and into the Intel Weenie MOS. Because he wanted me to take over the S2 position, which I was already doing, but I just wasn't school trained. And, it worked out pretty good. I remember I got the orders, and I went down there to go do it. The whole divorce thing was just at the tail end of being complete. My mind was in a very, very dark fucking place. And I remember I landed in the airport out there, and it was in Utah. It was some National Guard base out in Utah. And it always smelled like pig shit. It was horrible. But, you get used to it. You get used to anything, given enough time. And I remember I landed like 11:15 at night. We were supposed to be there by 7 p.m., but shit got fucked up. I think my flight was delayed. There was another soldier there. And, I had a rental car on my orders, so I remember going to the rental car counter, and of course they didn't have the compact or subcompact that I was supposed to have, so they gave me a Lincoln Town Car for the same price, and I got a GPS. So this NCO, I wish I could remember his name. I probably have it written down somewhere. He, I drove him on post. We went and saw the CQ, and basically, they're anyone who's been to any military school, that report time that you have on your orders is kind of like a strong suggestion, because shit happens in the real world. There's weather, there's fucking all kinds of labor problems, just problems in general, which cause flights to get all fucked up. What are you gonna do? They bitched a little bit, and they assigned us a room, and this guy wound up being my roommate for the duration of the rest of the school, which worked out because he was also a former grunt. He was 11 Bravo, and I've always got along with 11 Bravos and 0311s because we speak grunt speak. There isn't any kind of, you don't need an interpreter, you don't really, and when you're around grunts, you don't really have to, talk that much. You just grunt. It's true. You're like, that means, get the fuck over here, or, that means I don't want to hear it right now, or, that's a surprise. There's a surprise grunt right there. It's just how it is, and he and I always had the fridge full of beer. We got yelled at a couple times by the cadre, but I'm a fucking senior E7, 2 CIBs and the whole fucking deal, and I'm just like, oh yeah, Roger, too much beer, got it. How much am I allowed? Okay, can I just drink it down right now and then just keep it at that level? And they're just like, just stop it, Pop, stop. But and I remember like the first day I show up for the class the next morning, and I walk in there, and the instructor is I think he was the E7 as well, and he looks at me, he goes, "Thank God you're here." And I'm like, "Well, son, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm just a dude, man." He goes, No. You're the guy who's been on the ground. You've executed a lot of the harebrained fucking shit that we come up with. And the reason we come up with all that harebrained shit is there isn't people like you up here going, "Hey, you see those contour lines? See how close they are? Yeah, you're asking these people to walk north and then fall off a fucking cliff 200 feet and then continue on their mission." Now, he's just like, "You know how to do that stuff. You've walked the ground. You've walked the marshes, the intermittent streams that are real streams, the whole deal, the bogs, the lakes." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So at least I had a leg up. And they made me the class first sergeant, the admin first sergeant. So when students had a problem, they would come talk to me before they would talk to the cadre, and then I would, take care of it. So for the most part, they only had to deal with me. The cadre had to deal with me in regards to the other. I think we had 38 people in the class. I think 2 or 3 of them got washed out in the first phase and 2 more in the second phase. So I think we graduated like 30. Yeah, something like 30, 32. That was pretty good. And I did fairly well. I think my GPA was like a 93, which is good enough for government work. I'm more like an 85, 82 to 92 guy. The B answer works pretty much every time. Or you give the excuse, or just say, "Hey, I got a fucking 82%. It's good enough for government work." Yeah, and then we'd learned all those goddamn symbols of all of the different type of units that they track. The armor, the infantry, airborne infantry, motorized infantry, artillery, mortars. I mean, the whole deal. Everything has got this little wacky symbol, and you have to hand draw them all. Okay, you can do it on a computer, but for this class, we had to learn what the symbols were, and how you annotate the symbols and mark them correctly, and you had to draw them on the maps. And then we went through all of the MTOs of the Russian army, which really doesn't exist anymore, and the Chinese army, which probably is completely different now. We also went through the MTO of France, England, and Germany. And you read through them, and you skim through, and you look for the equipment that has been reported, and depending upon what they report, it's like, for instance, they report in a desalinator. Okay, that's an engineering unit. That's a sustainment engineering unit. And you go to the MTO, you look for the engineer sustainment units, and you see what they're attached to. And then you look through in some more, and you count the tanks and the artillery and all the other stuff that you see. And a lot of times you can pretty much guess what's operating out in front of your sector, in the conventional army world. Is it a brigade, division, a corps? And they always have their specific amount of equipment and tactics that they're going to do when they're aligned in certain ways that you can use to basically guess what's going to happen next. And you write your report. You send it up the chain to the 30-pound brain motherfuckers who warm seats and don't do shit, but they get good awards, and they don't do anything with it usually. Or it's, half-assed done, and, But hey, you're doing your job. I thought that was pretty interesting how I saw how the whole thing worked. And then we went through the SCIF procedures, and all of the regs in regards to OBSEC and maintaining secure, secret stuff, and you cover this. I covered a lot of this as security manager too, so it was kind of like just doing it over. I really didn't have to study that hard because I already knew it. Number one, number two is open book. Open book's easy, especially when it's all PDF and you can do find and replace. So we did that a lot. And then went out of town a couple times. You know, Utah's a Mormon state, so it's really not much going on. I think we saw a couple movies, grabbed some dinner and stuff. And that's about it, you know. Other than that, you know, the school went well. I graduated. Yeah, we did PT every day. It wasn't that big of a deal. The stink, you know, like I said before, it smelled like pig shit all the time. That really bothered me a lot. All right, now, while I was in the school, and I was in a bad frame of mind, I'd get out of class, go back to my room, have my roommate in there. I'd go through what we covered during the day, read any source material I needed to read, and then I would write my book of evil. And let me tell you what, writing the book of evil scared the living shit out of me. Because I realized just how fucking dangerous I am. Like, literally. It was just insane, some of the plots I was coming up with and the ways to destroy people's lives or, you know, kill people. And, you know, I mean, it was scary. It was really scary, you know. I'll never publish that book, but I did incorporate a lot of the scenarios and a lot of the tricks into my Jericho Files book, which will probably be coming out here shortly. And that's a fiction book about a retired military officer who used to work for the Stargate program as a remote viewer and didn't really like his retirement very well and decided to use his psychic abilities to hunt down serial killers. You know, there's a lot of supernatural shit in there. Ghosts, shades, shadows, inhumans, some magic. That comes later. A lot of gore. It's like gore porn. You know, a lot of people get smoked. I explain it explicitly, you know, how he does it. Mercilessly. And when you read the story, you'll realize why he's so merciless, because the people he's putting to the sword are absolute fucking scumbags. Just serial killing motherfuckers, you know, sadistic bastards, and they so richly have it coming. And one of the motivations for writing the book is, I remember when I was a kid, I went to the post office, and the entire wall was pictures of people who are missing. And then over here, they had like a little small little area for people who are on the most wanted list. And there were people on that wall missing, and had been missing for years. And like people fall through the cracks, or, you know, and they never find these people because they were probably killed and buried somewhere and nobody ever knows what's going on. So I'm like, you know what, it'd be really cool if the universe balanced this shit out and there was some fucking dude walking around out there that nobody really knew about, that was hunting these motherfuckers down, that was doing all this shit, because I find it hard to believe that the universe doesn't really have any justice like that. And so in my, you know, sick, twisted mind over the years, I basically wrote in my, you know, 6 or 8 books, and I've written 3 of them, and I have the other 2 or 3 outlined. So once I start writing again, I should probably be able to bang out between 2 and 6 books a year. Hopefully you guys like that kind of stuff. You know, it's kind of therapy to me, and I don't know, just more shit that I do. All right, practical jokes. I love me some practical jokes. All right, this particular guy, supply guy, bought himself one of those fancy Jeeps. You know, had the moonroof, all of the bells and whistles, all the buttons and bells, whatever. Was kind of getting bored. We were having issues, you know, with command. You know, pressure was kind of up there. So I had a guy, he came in RSTing, and what that is, RST is you miss a drill, you come in like the following week and make up the days during the week. So he comes in, he's attaching me at the hip, we're doing all our shit during the day, and it's lunchtime. I tell him to get in my car, we're going to grab some pizza, and then I swing by Staples and I buy this huge plastic bag of those styrofoam packing peanuts. And this soldier's like, what do you need those for, Storm Pop? I'm like, oh, you'll see. Don't worry about it. Throw them in my back seat, drive back to the unit, pull up right next to the Jeep. It's a nice, warm summer day. The sunroof is open. I take out the bag of packing peanuts and I fill his car up, man. I fill it up to like halfway up on the driver's window. And then I just, put the bag back in my car, park it like, 50 or 60 feet away. And then we're up there at the end of the day watching the supply guy go to his car. And I remember I'm drinking this Pepsi and the soldier's next to me like just laughing his ass off. He goes, that's what you guys do here? You work full time? You just fuck with each other? I'm like, it's for our own good. We'll go fucking crazy if we don't do this. So the supply guy comes out. He's just going crazy. You can see he's just mad as hell. Opens his door and this wave of packing peanuts come down into the parking lot. He jumps in, drives off. The moonroof is still down, so it looks like he's in a popcorn machine. Oh my God, that was fucking hilarious. Yeah, he must have been fucking mad as fuck, but that's just the way it goes. There's some other practical jokes I did in there too, but I think we're going to have to go to the next video for those, men. I'll talk to you later.